during that time where I guess the band was kind of in a lot of friction, at least from the story of the documentary, you brought in, I guess, a mediator, a therapist, a coach, someone to kind of like say, hey, tell everyone how you feel. Like, let's open up all of the emotions, the frustrations, the pains, the joys, and share it all. And this was what, 30 years ago or something,
30
right?
years ago.
30 years ago, when this wasn't a popular thing to do.
35 years ago.
That was like looked down upon 30 years ago. But you said, I'm gonna have the courage to say, we need to bring a coach, an expert, a mediator, a therapist to come in and let everyone express themselves. Would you say that really helped?
Oh, yeah.
Bringing people back together?
Oh, yeah. And boy, was it met resistance.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You know, I'd heard about these therapies, especially in alcoholism and mental illness, you know, and where you go to a rehab or, you know, and you're dealing with issues. But like I said, we didn't have those issues. We had naivete and youth and
Ego,
this rocket ship to success that was confusing, because we went from being the children of our parents to the parents of our parents, and the parents of, we were now these CEOs, you know, we were now these decision makers, we were now these money makers, we were the gravy train, you know. Life changed for everybody in the organization.
In your 20s?
In my 20s. And that's me being I don't know, I don't want to say a visionary, but a different thinker. I thought differently. I just always thought differently. The way I got a record deal. Nobody gets a record deal the way I got a record deal. I went and knocked on a DJ's booth. Right now, we think that there's millions of people who are going to watch this interview, which is nothing but ego. But in truth, it just could be you and I, Louis. And nobody may ever see this or hear this, right? And we don't know. The loneliest man in the music business was a DJ, talking to no one, preaching the gospel of music. And I said, that man loves music more than anyone I know. I'm going to go knock on his window and play him a song. It was the same kind of visions I've had throughout the process here, where I said, self-management. The industry said, you're out of your mind. You're a dead man walking. You're the biggest band in the world right now. You can't fire your big shot manager. I said, why? And I wasn't being egomaniacal. I said, why? Give me a good reason why. There wasn't a good reason why. And from 1991 to 2016, it's a lot of commission checks. I didn't pay anybody, you know. But the band trusted me, and we did it. I did it. I built Bon Jovi Management.
That's the second thing that I was going to talk about.
But the therapist, Lou Cox, he come in, and he had nothing to win or lose. He wasn't on anyone's salaries. He wasn't on the payroll. He wasn't even in the music business.
Wow. What was the one thing that he taught you through that experience about mediation, therapy, communication?
A little silly, you know, elevator bumper stickers like, you know, everyone's the star of their own show. It's 5 different opinions in this story. It's 5 different points of view. But it was about listening in order to learn. It was about, you know, giving the floor to others when necessary. It was about being a shoulder to lean on when somebody, you know, needed that shoulder to lean on. There was a lot of that. There was no... It was all based in truths. It was looking into someone's eye and saying, I love you, and meaning it.
Wow.
You know, understanding what the words meant. Not just, oh, we're performing on the stage together. Hey, you dude. I was never a dude. We weren't dude. I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in cutting to a deeper place. You know, our music got lumped into a genre of music because of when we came up and the kind of stuff, you know, that I was 21 and 25. I look like every kid in the mall. That's the way the kids looked in the mall.
Yeah.
So we were thrust into that, but that's not who I was. It was just, we were put into that.
But I mean, again, this is the thing that surprises me. This is what, the late 80s, early 90s, right?
Mid-80s.
Mid-80s.
86, 87, 88.
But when the therapy
Oh,
session...
that's 90, 90, 91, yeah.
90, 91.
Yeah.
it's what, 5 to 7 of you guys in a room together.
Yeah.
And you're talking about love, and you're talking about your emotions, and you're talking, I love you, and you're looking in each other's eyes, and you're being vulnerable. When I grew up in the 80s and 90s, you weren't allowed to do that stuff. So I'm saying you innovated this ability to, like, how are all of you able to be so receptive to connect openly, lovingly, vulnerably?
Oh, it wasn't easy. Nobody was receptive to it. I was receptive to it. The guys fought it. And then after a couple of sessions of it, they, had their private time with Lou, and then they would come back into group, and then, and we committed to it.
Wow.
We committed to it.
How many sessions did you guys all do
I don't know.
together?
Let's just put it this way. Over the course of time that started in 90, and I was talking to Lou, a year ago.
This is amazing.
So we still, I would still touch base with them.
That's incredible.
Over time. Yeah, we needed them anytime.
How important was it for you to tap into your relationship skills and your emotional skills, over your singing and songwriting skills in order to be successful as a group and as a band?
I just looked at it like a family is always going to have its issues.
Uh-huh.
A team is always going to have their issues. But having been a sports fan, I could see the inner workings of a team and think, I could see that the ego is prohibiting them from winning championships.
Oh, man.
And that a family can't get away from each other, because of blood, but they could have nothing more than a common last name. So there had to be a way to take the strength of a name and the strength of a team and take the best of those things and maximize them. So, if it's based in truth, you can get over ego.
Wow.
It worked for me.
That's incredible. And it sounds like if everyone didn't join in that process, you guys wouldn't be where you are.
Well, somebody could have quit easily. Yeah, it sure would have been an easier way for somebody to quit. But nobody ever quit the band until Richie, in 2013, but that's much later.
Right.
But no, everybody was committed.
That's incredible, man. That's cool.